Hello, guys. My name is George, Dr. George, and I'm here to teach you about the research process. So, this is the first module of the RCPD program, Research in the Academy, and I sure hope that you would listen through until the eighth module. I think I have eight modules here. So, also, I hope that you watch this sequentially because it's the best way to watch it. Uh, and I'm sure there will be questions and there will be times that my discussion would not suit you or it may seem uh, not to be for you, but I'd like you to just carry on and be patient until the end. After all, research is about patience. All right. So without further ado, the research process. So the research process, according to this definition, and you will see a lot of definition here, is a scholarly activity. I like to focus on that word, scholarly activity, because it may be an activity, it may be a difficult activity, but if it's not scholarly, then it doesn't qualify to be a research, right? It is aimed at finding new truths. Of course, later on you'll see that sometimes what you get or what you see are not entirely new truths, but application of old truths into new areas or maybe new location which otherwise were not considered before. Okay, so halimbawa, perfect example niyan is about the theory, for example, of intelligences, right? Na ginawa nila Alfred Binet, right? Yung IQ test nila, di ba? So it started in Stanford, kaya nga Stanford Binet, di ba? Yung nag-commission sa kanya na gumawa ng research na yun, right? But eventually, it reached Asia and tayo rin sa Pilipinas. Of course, na-take din ng mga estudyante natin before yung IQ test na yan. So it's really an old truth applied to a new area or a new country for that matter. Ayan. So also, another thing that I'd like to focus here is about new rules about specific discipline, basically designed to find solution to a problem. Solution to a problem is something that we'd like to focus on kasi naalala ko nga dito yung aking teacher sa Lasal before, no? Si Dr. Bago, one of my most favorite, if not my most favorite teacher of all time, si Dr. Bago. Dr. Bago was probably in her 80s during that time, pero she's really sharp and several times in class she would say things na that corrected me. I thought it was otherwise, but then she corrected my thoughts and it was wonderful. I mean, she's humble and all that and she's brilliant. So, ang sabi niya, natandaan ko nung to siya about research, what she did was to ask us ask for a reflection paper. And in so many words, she said, you write a reflection paper about 3 to 5 pages long and describe what bothers you about your career, yung education career, and what bothers you about the industry of education. Of course, young as we are during that time, we wrote a lot of things in our reflection paper. A week after it was collected and some papers were even allowed to be read in front. I was one of one of my one of I'm one of the people who stood up in front and read his paper. So what what really amazed me is that afterwards, syempre lahat nag-discuss, no? Yung low budget, for example, ng public schools. And then, parang ako doon dati, ang pinabi ko yung tipong ang ang Philippines during that time ay 10 years lang yung education, hindi tayo makapag-compete sa international scene. And then she even said na, yung bagay yan, magbabago yan because I think they're talking about adding 2 more years in the curriculum. So which really happened. But what amazed me is that after all, the discussions, we're done for our based on what we did, what we wrote. She said na, okay, research is all about uh, putting forth a problem and then offering solutions to that problem. Okay? And then, ang hardest part daw talaga is how to start. And saan ba nagsisimula? Eh di syempre sabi namin, introduction. And then sabi niya, you already have your introduction. And she was referring to the reflection paper that we wrote. And that really is something na talagang natuwa ako, no? And up to this date, sinasabi ko yan lagi sa mga estudyante ko na pag nagsisimula pa lang about research, just describe what bothers you in business, or if they are from nursing, sa nursing profession. And minsan magkakapare-pareho sila ng sinasabi, no? But iba lang sila ng atake. And then, once they realize na, okay, so it's all about problems and all that. So, kailangan dito magsisimula yung aking discussion. And it changes a lot, lalo na if you think about research as that. Kailangan talaga ganun yung mindset mo eh. Alright? So, of course, ang research is not only applied in one field or, a small number of fields. It is applied in many various fields of studies. Is that in natural sciences like biology, chemistry, physics, and all that. In the field of social sciences, ginagawa rin yan sa sociology, psychology, education, lalo na syempre yung topic natin ngayon, anthropology, tapos sa business naman, of course, market research, operations research, and all that. Okay? So, ito, marami tayong mga definition research, and you must forgive the date, the year of the references. And I would claim what Saint Thomas Aquinas, my favorite saint of all, said: regard not what is who is speaking, and in this case, when it was spoken, but what is being spoken. Alright? So, regard the truth, irrespective of when it was spoken. Ang mahalaga dito sa research, ito naman mga timeless naman tong mga definition na to. Hindi naman to nagbabago masyado as time goes by, no? 1994, systematic patient study. So, systematic, you like to focus on that. Systematic, dapat nakaporma yan, nasa forma yan. And patient, hindi po pwedeng, kaya nga sabi ko lagi, hindi po pwedeng inassign sa inyo yung research 6 months, tapos gagawin mo yung thesis mo ng 1 to 2 days lang na pupuyat. Huwag yung gagawin yun. Kailangan talaga, lagyan mo ng effort yan. And talagang systematic yan. And patient, talagang day in, day out, you have to put some effort para matapos mo yung ginagawa mo. And come to think of it, if it's 6 months, that's about 180 days, di ba? If you only write 1 page a day, by the end of the 6 months, you would have written 180 pages. Isang dissertation na yan, right? So, hindi talaga, walang excuse talaga sa pag-research. Okay? Meron dito yung nakalagay na to discover or establish facts or principle. I like that. In a sense na you discover facts or principle, you discover something that makes the arrangement of atoms like this and not another, di ba? Ano kaya ang principle na yan? So yung mga bagay na yun yung pinag-aaral ng mga scientists natin, lalo na sa field ng theoretical physics, ang dami-daming researches that are going on there. Kasi ang dami-dami mong sample eh. Lahat ng stars ba naman sa universe, lahat ng mga faraway suns na nakikita mo, lahat yung nakakatulong sa research mo. So, sometimes, the aim is to discover new facts or principle. But another time, it is also to establish facts. Siyempre, may mga bagay na naisipan na in other countries, and ikaw naman is, you're there in order to establish the fact, or tingnan mo yung application naman sa, either sa society mo, na ginagalawan mo, or sa iyong sarili, right? bilang estudyante or bilang employee and all that. Okay, next. Yan. So, yung research is a systematic and objective analysis and recording of controlled observation. Gusto kong i-highlight yung word na controlled, although isasama natin yan later on sa definition. Controlled observations, kasi talagang usually ang mga, lalo na sa experimentation, no? Usually talaga nangyayari yan sa isang controlled environment. Kasi like, ang maganda example dito, yung ginawa nila Galileo, right? Nung tinatry nilang experiment yung mga ginawa ng mga nung araw, no? Tingnan nila kung i-verify nila kung okay ba talaga, tama ba yan, no? Ginawa nila Tycho Brahe, and in case of Galileo, yung mga sinauna pang mga scientists, no? For example, tinignan niya yung theory ng falling objects, no? Although not necessarily siguro iniisip niya si Aristotle, but di ba, when he was making that experimentation ng falling objects, bago niya na figure out yung acceleration due to gravity, bago sila nakarating sa mathematics of it, tinignan nila muna yun everyday. So for many years. And ang research niya doon has something to do with applying, no? Or maaring bini-verify niya yung principles and theories. Eventually, gusto natin ang ending niyan is makontrol niya yung events. No? Kung halimbawa, nag-research ang isang tao about virus, no? Katulad ng mga H1N1 or yung HIV. Pag nakita mo kasi kung paano siya kukontrolin, ma-manage, sa future, magiging part na ng literature yung ginawa mo. And who knows, because of that, maaring either ma-awardan ka ng Nobel Prize later on, diba? Or merong na magkakaroon ng impact ang little na contribute nyo sa society. Right? Okay? So, ang isa pa dito, sabi ni Calderon, no, purposive dapat systematic and scientific process of gathering, analyzing, classifying, organizing, presenting, and interpreting data for the solution of a problem. Ay na naman tayo dun. For prediction, pwede kasi nagpe-predict ka, ano kaya mangyayari pag ginawa ko to, and all that. O kaya ano nangyayari pag tinanggal ko, for example, ang lunch pass ng mga students, what happens, di ba? So, yung mga, prediction yan. Meron kang intervention na gagawa, titignan mo what will happen as an analysis to it. Okay? Again, nakalagay dito for discovery of truth or for the expansion and verification of existing knowledge. Yun, ibig sabihin, hindi naman talaga laging naghahanap ka ng bagong truth, no? Lalo na pag nandito tayo sa Philippines, hindi tayo masyadong well-funded kasi ang ating research. Hindi katulad sa ibang bansa. So, pag ganun, just make the most out of it. Later on naman talaga magbibiyayaan yan yung ating mga descendants. Right? Yan. Okay. Prediction, no? Invention. Pwede rin invention. Discovery of truth or expansion and verification. Parang application yung huli, di ba? Ina-apply mo lang sa pamayanan natin, sa society natin. Okay? Meron pa isa dito. Process of systematically examining and explaining the observables. It seeks to generate answers to question. At pinakaano dito is that after mo mag-answer ng question, hindi ka naman nagkaroon na ng monopoly ng lahat ng knowledge. Siyempre, meron mga taong darating na mas mag-i-improve ang iyong line of thinking. So, yun yung natin dito. It has to generate further questions in the study. Right? Okay, ito yung domain of research. Ang binigay ko na example dito, expectation versus reality ng Netflix. Pero ang point lang dito is that as a rational being, equipped tayo with faculties of the intellect and the will, no? Yung faculties na yun enable him to speculate or theorize about reality. Kaso nga lang, as what as what Immanuel Kant said, meron kasing dalawang aspect ang reality. yung reality as perceived, and then the reality as it is, no? So yung parang uh, 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 parang yung object in its true sense ay yung absolute, no? Absolute reality, at ikaw perception of reality lang. So yan. So ito, may enable ka ngayon mag-theorize about facts kasi nga ay ano ka meron kang endowed ka with intellect and will, right? Yun. Next slide. So this may not be really appropriate in the sense that meron dito mga topics, general topics about pragmatism, mga political autonomy. So yan, no? Or observed reality versus observed reality. Yung theories na yan versus observed reality. Sa kabila naman, meron post-structuralism. And what comes to my mind when I'm looking at this is yung labeling, no? Ang tendency talaga ng tao is mag-label, no? Salita ka na ng konti, parang ang feeling nila, kilala ka na nila at ilalagay ka na sa isang label. Kasi nga, ako para sa akin, pag nag-label ka sa mga tao, it means that you are lazy in trying to analyze them or talk to them really. Kasi nililabel mo lang sila. For example, no, nung araw, ang mga brothers, ang mga monks, whenever they write or present something, they would say, scholastic yan. Scholastic theology yan. They put forth the answers before even questioning. That's not philosophy. So, yun yung mga comment ng mga philosophers. So, in a way, naging silang judgmental. Okay? Binigyan ka ng label. In reality, hindi ka naman pala nakaka-abot doon, no? Kaya, yan, nagkakaroon ng problema, expectation versus reality. So, ang research ay na-attempt i-solve yun. Although ito isa sa mga pinakamahirap na aspect ng research itong mga bagay na to. Okay? Next, mga elements naman ng theoretical domain. It's either a concept, a proposition. Yung concept is, syempre, yung mga idea, no? Usually, yan. Noun yan, noun. Mga concepts na connected doon sa inaaral mo. O kaya kung nagsisimula ka pa ng mag-aral ng research, ito yung mga bagay na iniisip mo pa kung ilalagay mo ba siya sa concept paper mo o hindi na. Yun, no? So, yung mga concept, yung medyo magulo pa, no? On the other hand, pag tinawag naman natin na proposition, usually statement na yan. And sa research, usually statement na yan of relationship. Kasi ang research, really, ang tinitingnan lang yan is how connected are the variables. And of course, yun yung logical relations. So, cut the long story short, yung tatlong to is yung isa, yung concept, yung individual variable or concept na pinag-join siya ng mga connector, yung mga logical relations para makapagsalita ka o makapagbuo ka ng propositions. Okay? Ng mga statements. Okay, yung research domain naman na to, no? Theoretical domain yung nasa kaliwa, and then ito yung research process natin. Ang empirical domain is whether ang process mo ba ay patungo sa isang sa isang society. Is it focus on individual people? Is it focus on groups? Yan po yung ating research domain. Okay, ito naman tayo sa mga characteristics ng research process. Ang first is systematic. Kaya sa systematic kasi ang research should be done in an orderly manner. Kailangan talaga may fina-follow yung system. Nag-a-apply siya ng logic at many points. Lalo na pag nagtatagal ka about experimentation, ikaw pwede magkamali dyan. So, dapat lahat ng data, lahat ng given ay ibibigay natin. No? Next. Control. Yan, sinabi natin kanina yan. It is planned and does not allow any guesswork. Dapat yung mga problem thoroughly defined, yung mga variables identified, clearly identified. Saka yung mga instruments na-select, talagang na calibrate para lang bibigay talaga ng tamang reading. Right? Next. Empirical, the conclusions are based on evidences gathered carefully. So it's not opinions, it's really empirical, may evidence, no? Next, it's supposed to be critical, and my story here is about my former teacher in college, no? Kasi sabi dito, critical to, kailangan compelling conclusions which enable the researcher to develop full confidence. Sabi ng teacher namin dati sa statistics, and she was my teacher in statistics, and I remember Mrs. Del Rosario, eventually, on that day, in one fateful day, I think it was a Thursday. Sorry, I just kidding. She went into a class extra happy, and then she said that she already passed her dissertation presentation. And then she was saying na yun, kailangan talaga bilang math majors, kailangan sure na sure kayo sa ginagawa nyo, kailangan talagang confident kayo sa data. So she was saying na she was being grilled, long hours, and then the head of the panel said, parang finally, no, na, okay, Mrs. Del Rosario, please take note that the results of your findings contradict with the findings in the US. What can you say about it? So, of course, she can parang retaliate angrily dahil unang-una, head ng panel yun, mahirapan ka. So, what she simply said is that, I understand, I saw that paper, but I cannot begin by doubting my own data. I followed all the methods research, yung sound statistics analysis and all that, data analysis and all that, and it came out like this, so I cannot begin by doubting my results. To which the panelist was nabilib, no? Ang sabi sa kanya daw, no, is, thank you, Dr. Rosario. Yan. So, parang sinasabi niya na, after that wonderful answer of yours, then you deserve the title doctor. Of course, it's a story, second-hand story, so it may not have happened exactly like that, but something of that sort. So, parang kailangan yung conclusion mo compelling at talagang mag-develop ka ng full confidence sa author. Okay? Nangyayon natin yan. Next, it's cyclical. Sabi na natin yan. It starts with a problem and ends with a problem. Do not attempt in your research to solve everything. Na parang sa dulo, parang feeling mo, gagawa ka ng theory of everything. No? Kung saan yung universal gravitation, i-connect mo sa may quantum theory of mechanics and all that. Hindi ganun eh. Dapat you should move, you should move like how the organisms move. Slowly. So it starts with a problem, and you don't attempt to answer everything. Just give them an initial answer, which is verifiable naman later on by other people. Next is universal. Kailangan ng research mo procedures that are transmittable. Okay? Kaya kailangan magagamit yan, ma-replicate yan. And kayang i-assess yung validity. Okay? Kasi universal nga siya. Next is, of course, parang pareho lang, no? Dun sa kanina. It has to be replicable, and the researcher may use the results of a study. Ang ibig sabihin, pwedeng gamitin yung research mo and build upon the research results of another. So, ibig sabihin, pag ikaw ay nag-research sa US, okay, dinala mo yung paper mo, tapos nakita ng mga taga-Argentina, they can make use of your results and they can do their own research following your methods. Parang ganun. Okay, so ito yung research as a cyclical process, no? Starts with a question, develop ka ng problem mo, statement of the problem, and then yung research plan mo, yung sampling design, and then there are sub-problems, there are hypotheses, all those EP format, wala na yan. Data collection, data analysis, and then eventually yung summary and findings, conclusion, interpretation, conclusion, recommendation. Yan. So, after yung number 9, you start questioning again. So, ulit na naman yan. Next, Classification of research, tatlong classification, according to purpose, according to statistical content, according to time element. According to the purpose, dalawa lang naman yan. It's either basic, parang pure research, pure science. It seeks knowledge for its own sake, while applied research is you want to discover something with practical use para magamit mo sa ibang bagay, no? So, halimbawa, ang research mo has something to do with marketing. Hindi ka nagre-research ng marketing just for the sake of knowing what marketing is all about or what the market understands about you and all that. It has to be applied to something else. So that's a kind of applied research. Ganon klase, no? Usually ang mga theoretical physics, yan ang mga pure sciences, no? Or philosophy in a way. May mga research din naman sa philosophy. Okay, according to statistical content, dalawa rin to, no? Qualitative, meaning, hindi gumagamit usually ng numbers, or if at all talaga napaka-konting-konti lang, no? Actually, hindi talaga siya statistics kundi nagbibilang ka lang, frequency count, ganyan. So, maaring phenomenological studies yan, studies of phenomenon, ethnographic, no? Punta ka doon, nag-immersion ka sa isang klase ng culture and all that, and then you're there, no? Or pwedeng anthropological study yan, or maaaring historical. Although, anthropological study, sometimes ginagamit din yan in order to define brand awareness, and all that. Okay, quantitative is, as we probably know, quantitative ito yung usual na research dito sa Philippines kasi may data, merong numbers, so parang mas madali siyang i-present, madaling gawin. Actually, when you look at it, ang qualitative talagang research, mahirap isulat, pero once i-defend mo na, mas madali yun. Kasi no one can question what you went through sa qualitative research. So, on the other hand, ang quantitative, pag magsalita na lang ang statistician mo, mag-raise ng question, parang nalito ka, medyo delikado ka na. Right? So, yan po. Quantitative and qualitative. And then, finally, according to time element, historical, talks about the past. Tapos, descriptive, talks about the future, the current time. So, you're describing something, right? And about the future naman, experimental research talks about the future in a way. Kasi meron kang ginagawa and then it predicts something that will happen in the future. Maring ano yun, no? Siyempre dito, yung mga variables mo dyan ay controlled or even manipulated.